In the vast library of human history, few texts have shaped civilizations and inspired billions like the Book of Genesis. It is a book of origins, seeking to answer, where did we come from? What is our purpose? Genesis is the first chapter in the sacred scriptures of Judaism and Christianity, echoing across millennia. Today we journey back to the dawn of time, not as theologians but as explorers, seeking to understand Genesis's stories, characters, and enduring messages. We'll witness the shaping of the cosmos, walk in the garden, survive a flood, and follow the patriarchs whose faith laid the groundwork for nations. This is a story of beginnings, and it begins now. What is Genesis? At its core, Genesis, meaning origin, is a book of beginnings. It is the first book of the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Old Testament, setting the stage for the entire biblical narrative. Genesis is not just a historical account, it is a profound exploration of the human condition, the nature of God, and the origins of the world and humanity. It opens the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Old Testament, not with a king or a battle, but with the act of creation itself. The very first words, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth," set a tone of divine authority and creative power that resonates throughout the text. Genesis is divided into two main parts: the primeval history, which tells the universal stories of creation, Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and the flood, and the patriarchal history, which follows Abraham and his descendants. These stories are not just ancient tales, they are foundational narratives that have shaped the beliefs and values of billions of people over millennia. The patriarchal history is particularly significant as it traces the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose descendants become the 12 tribes of Israel. This section of Genesis is rich with themes of faith, covenant, and divine promise, illustrating the deep relationship between God and his chosen people. The first part explains the origins of life, death, work, and the diversity of cultures, stories shared by all humanity. It delves into the fundamental questions of existence. Where do we come from? Why are we here? What is our purpose? These questions are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. The second part narrows to one family, tracing the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whose descendants become the 12 tribes of Israel. This genealogical focus highlights the importance of family, heritage, and the continuity of faith across generations. Genesis is a grand prologue establishing themes that echo throughout the Bible: God's sovereignty, human nature, the consequences of disobedience, and the promise of redemption. It sets the stage for the unfolding drama of salvation history, where God's plan for humanity is gradually revealed. It presents a world created with purpose, yet marred by human choices. The stories of Adam and Eve, Cain and Abel, and the Tower of Babel illustrate the complexities of human free will and the far-reaching consequences of our actions. The narrative style shifts from the poetic creation account to the intimate family sagas of the patriarchs. This shift in style reflects the multifaceted nature of Genesis, blending grand cosmic themes with personal, relatable stories. Genesis is both cosmic drama and family history, blending the epic and the everyday. It captures the grandeur of creation and the intimacy of human relationships, making it a timeless and universal text. For the ancient Israelites, it was their origin story, explaining their identity and relationship with God. It provided a sense of purpose and direction, grounding their existence in a divine narrative. Its themes, creation, covenant, human dignity, and moral responsibility, are foundational to Western thought. These themes have influenced countless aspects of culture, from art and literature to law and ethics. Genesis is not just ancient myth or history, it's a literary and theological masterpiece presenting a comprehensive worldview. It invites readers to ponder profound questions about existence, morality, and the divine. It explores the human condition and declares a divine purpose that underpins reality. Through its narratives, Genesis offers insights into the nature of God, the meaning of life, and the destiny of humanity. Genesis is the first word in a sacred conversation, the opening act of a drama that still unfolds. Its stories continue to inspire, challenge, and guide people of faith around the world. Its complexity and depth reflect the contradictions and hopes of humanity itself. Genesis captures the tension between divine perfection and human imperfection, between hope and despair, between judgment and mercy. Through its stories, Genesis anchors identity, inspires reflection, and shapes culture. It is a source of wisdom and inspiration, offering timeless lessons for every generation. It is a wellspring of ideas that have influenced law, philosophy, art, and faith for millennia. Genesis is not just the beginning of the Bible, it is the beginning of a journey that continues to unfold in the lives of those who engage with its profound and enduring message. When was Genesis written? The book itself is silent on its author and date, leading to centuries of debate. Tradition credits Moses placing its composition during the Exodus, around the 15th or 13th century BCE. This view gives Genesis the authority of a direct prophetic witness, connecting Israel's origins to its greatest leader. Modern scholarship, however, sees Genesis as a tapestry woven from multiple sources over centuries. The documentary hypothesis identifies sources like the Yahwist, Elohist, and priestly traditions, each with distinct styles and emphases. These sources were likely compiled and edited during or after the Babylonian exile in the 6th century BCE, a time of crisis and reflection for Israel. Rather than diminishing its significance, this view highlights Genesis as a living document, shaped by generations seeking meaning and identity. Genesis thus carries the wisdom of ages, reflecting both tradition and adaptation. Its formation is a testament to a community's enduring quest to understand its God and its place in the world. Who wrote Genesis? For centuries, the answer was simple: Moses. Tradition holds that Moses, educated and divinely inspired, recorded Israel's foundational stories and laws. He would have drawn from ancient oral traditions and perhaps written records, shaping them for a new nation. Modern scholarship, however, sees Genesis as the work of many hands. Schools of thought, like the Yahwist, Elohist, and priestly writers. These traditions, preserved and passed down, were skillfully woven together by later editors, known as redactors. The final editor's genius was to preserve differing accounts side by side, creating a rich, multi-layered narrative. Genesis is thus a collective masterpiece, bearing the fingerprints of generations. Whether seen as the work of one inspired author or a community, its literary and spiritual power endures. Genesis stands as a testament to a people's search for meaning, identity, and relationship with the divine. Genesis unfolds in two sweeping acts, the primeval history and the patriarchal history. The first act, chapters 1-11, tells the universal story: creation, the fall, the flood, and the scattering at Babel. Creation begins with order and goodness, but quickly gives way to disobedience and its consequences. Adam and Eve's choice leads to exile. Cain's jealousy to the first murder, humanity's violence to the flood. Noah's Ark becomes a symbol of survival and new beginnings, but pride resurfaces at Babel, scattering humanity. The second act, chapters 12-50, zooms in on one family, Abraham, called to leave everything for a divine promise. Abraham's faith is tested, Isaac continues the covenant, and Jacob, renamed Israel, fathers the 12 tribes. The story climaxes with Joseph, betrayed by his brothers but rising to power in Egypt, ultimately saving his family. Genesis ends not in the promised land but in Egypt, with Israel's future uncertain, setting the stage for Exodus. Through epic events and intimate struggles, Genesis weaves a narrative of promise, failure, and hope. Its structure moves from the cosmic to the personal, from the origins of the world to the destiny of a people. Each story builds on the last, revealing the complexity of human nature and the persistence of divine purpose. Genesis is both a sweeping epic and a family saga, rich in drama and meaning. Its stories are timeless, inviting us to reflect on our own beginnings and destinies. The book's unfolding drama continues to resonate, offering lessons for every generation. Why does Genesis matter? Why, after thousands of years, do we still turn to its ancient pages for answers, inspiration, and debate? The book of Genesis is not just the first book of the Bible. It is the opening chapter of a story that has shaped the very fabric of human civilization. Its influence is vast, shaping religion, culture, law, and the very way we see ourselves. Genesis is a cornerstone for three of the world's major faiths, and its echoes can be found in countless traditions, philosophies, and even in the language we use to describe beginnings and origins. For Judaism and Christianity, Genesis is the foundation. It introduces the one God, the concept of covenant, and the origins of a chosen people. It is here that the relationship between God and humanity is first explored, setting the stage for all that follows in the biblical narrative. Its stories explain identity, purpose, and the roots of faith. Genesis asks, who are we? Why are we here? What does it mean to be human, to be part of a family, a community, a people? These are questions that every generation must answer for itself, and Genesis provides a framework for that search. Genesis introduced a linear view of history, a purposeful story with a beginning and a goal, contrasting with ancient, cyclical worldviews. In a world where many cultures saw time as an endless loop, Genesis offered a radical new idea: that history is going somewhere, that our actions matter, and that the future can be different from the past. Its narratives, Eden, Cain and Abel, Noah's Ark, Babel, are universal symbols inspiring art, literature, and philosophy. Artists, writers, and thinkers have returned to these stories again and again, finding in them endless layers of meaning and relevance. Unlike the myths of its neighbors, Genesis presents a world created by a single purposeful deity, not by warring gods or cosmic accidents. This vision of a rational, ordered universe laid the groundwork for later scientific and philosophical inquiry, influencing how we understand the cosmos and our place within it. The idea that all humans are made in God's image has shaped arguments for dignity, rights, and equality. This single phrase has echoed through history, fueling movements for justice and human rights and reminding us that every person has inherent worth. Genesis grapples with suffering, good and evil, and the tension between free will and divine sovereignty. It does not shy away from the hardest questions: why do we suffer? Why do we make mistakes? Can we change? Its stories are as much about human failure as they are about hope and redemption. Its characters are complex and relatable, their struggles mirroring our own. Adam and Eve, Abraham and Sarah, Jacob and Esau, they are not distant heroes but flawed, searching people wrestling with doubt, jealousy, love, and forgiveness. Genesis is also a story of families and generations, of promises made and broken, of journeys and exiles. It traces the roots of nations and the tangled web of relationships that shape history, reminding us that our own stories are part of something much larger. Genesis is a literary masterpiece, blending poetry, genealogy, and epic saga. Its language is rich and evocative, its structure carefully crafted to invite reflection and interpretation. It is a book that rewards careful reading, offering new insights with every return. Across centuries, Genesis has been studied, debated, and reinterpreted by scholars, theologians, and ordinary readers alike. Its stories have sparked conversations about science and faith, morality and meaning, and the nature of truth itself. It offers a foundational mythos, a shared story that helps cultures understand themselves. Genesis is not just about the past, it is about the stories we tell to make sense of our present and to imagine our future. Whether read as history, revelation, or literature, Genesis asks the big questions and offers enduring narratives in response. It invites us to wrestle with mystery, to seek wisdom, and to find our place in the unfolding story of humanity. Its legacy is living, continually read and debated, shaping the spiritual imagination of billions. In every age, Genesis is rediscovered, its words taking on new meaning and new contexts. Genesis is a book about beginnings, but also about hope, promise, and the search for meaning. It reminds us that every ending can be a new beginning, and that hope is woven into the fabric of creation itself. It tells us the world is not an accident, but a creation with purpose. In a universe that can feel vast and indifferent, Genesis insists that our lives matter, that we are part of a story that began with intention and continues with us. Its stories challenge, comfort, and inspire generation after generation. They teach us about resilience, forgiveness, and the courage to begin again no matter how many times we fall. Genesis remains a cornerstone of faith and culture, a source of wisdom and wonder. Its words echo in our prayers, our art, our laws, and our dreams. Its importance endures because its questions and its hope are timeless. As long as we seek to understand where we come from, who we are, and what we might become, Genesis will remain a vital guide, inviting us to explore, to question, and to hope. What are the enduring messages of Genesis? This ancient text, foundational to many, holds profound insights that have shaped cultures and beliefs for millennia. Several core themes stand out, offering timeless wisdom. These themes are not just historical artifacts but living principles that continue to resonate with us today. First, Genesis affirms a sovereign, benevolent creator, declaring the universe as purposeful and good. This declaration invites us to see the world not as a random occurrence but as a deliberate act of creation, filled with meaning and intention. Second, it proclaims the unique value and responsibility of humanity, made in God's image and called to stewardship. This concept of stewardship extends beyond mere caretaking. It calls for a deep, ethical responsibility towards the environment and each other. Third, Genesis is honest about human fallibility, the reality of sin and its consequences, from the fall to Babel. These stories reflect the complexities of human nature, acknowledging our capacity for both great good and profound error. Yet, alongside failure is hope, God's unwavering commitment to redemption, seen in covenants and second chances. This theme of redemption is a powerful reminder that no matter how far we stray, there is always a path back to grace. The principle of election and covenant is central. God chooses Abraham's family to bless the world, not for their perfection, but as a strategy for redemption. This choice underscores the idea that divine plans often work through imperfect people to achieve perfect ends. Divine providence weaves through the stories, especially in Joseph's journey from betrayal to blessing. Joseph's story is a testament to resilience and faith, showing how adversity can be transformed into opportunity. Genesis teaches that even in suffering, a greater purpose may be at work. This perspective encourages us to look beyond immediate hardships and trust in a larger, unfolding plan. The book ends with a promise unfulfilled, teaching faith in the tension between promise and fulfillment. This unresolved ending invites readers to live in hope and anticipation, trusting that the story is still being written. These messages are not relics, they speak to our search for meaning, dignity, and hope. In a world often marked by uncertainty, the themes of Genesis offer a grounding sense of purpose and direction. Genesis is about beginnings, but also about the enduring patterns of the divine-human relationship. It sets the stage for understanding how we relate to the divine and to each other. It lays out the problems and promises that define the human experience. These narratives are mirrors reflecting our own struggles and aspirations, reminding us that we are part of a larger human story. Through its stories, Genesis offers a lens for understanding our world and our place within it. It challenges us to see beyond the surface and to seek deeper truths about existence and purpose. Its wisdom is as relevant today as ever, inviting us to live with purpose, responsibility, and hope. The call to stewardship, the acknowledgement of human fallibility, and the promise of redemption are as pertinent now as they were thousands of years ago. Genesis is more than a book. It's a living conversation about what it means to be human. It invites each generation to engage with its stories, to find their own place within its narrative. Its messages continue to echo, guiding and inspiring us on our journey. As we navigate the complexities of modern life, the enduring wisdom of Genesis remains a beacon, illuminating our path forward. Our journey through Genesis has taken us from creation's majesty to the dramas of a single family. We've explored its stories, its origins, and its enduring power as a foundation for faith and culture. Genesis is a literary and theological treasure, its characters flawed yet relatable, its themes timeless. It begins in a perfect garden and ends with a promise, reminding us that faith is a journey forward. The words, "in the beginning," still resonate. Genesis is a testament to the enduring power of new beginnings.